Yo, how are we going, ladies and gentlemen? I am pumped. So I've finally got around to start work on this. So this was sent over by Lou. This thing has more frequent flyer points than me. So it's come from Lightning Ridge, New South Wales, flown all the way over to Lou over in America. He's the owner of Bay State Opals. They've got a Facebook, they've got Instagram, they've got a website. All of that will be linked in the description below. Check him out. He works Australian Opal. This actually come from a parcel he bought from the one and only blackopaldirect. And I will edit in a clip here of the actual stone in the video that blackopaldirect themselves recorded.
This piece is a nice carving piece, has green and pink. You could carve that and make it a beautiful undulating pattern piece.
Lou himself has carved up all the other pieces in that clip. But this one, because it's such a strange undulating kind of caliber, there's this sand spot and whatever inside the guts of it, he couldn't just simply cab it, so he kind of just left it sit. He's finished the rest of the parcel, and this one, he finally decided to get it carved, and he actually selected me to do it, so I'm incredibly honoured, and we will try our hardest to get the best stone and hopefully retain as much as humanly possible. So here it is, you can see. Beautiful colour. There's this red. There's also this green, the green over here. If you look from the side, it looks like the red sits underneath the green. So they might have carved off a bit of the green to get through to that red at the bottom. It is, unfortunately, pretty sand shot in the guts. But if we look from the side, you can see here that there's a colour bar that still seems to join from that side all the way through to this side. So we are going to wear this centerpiece down. There's a bit of sand, there's a bit of black potch. We're going to try to get through that and hope for the best. I don't think I'm going to go through the green to get to the red on the other side here, because look how thin it is. You can see here that it's just starting to come through on this side. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to that red without being millimeter thick. Over here, we've also got an issue with sand sitting there right under the color. It looks like the sand comes all the way out to here, and this tiny little corner here is actually got sand layered between the colour and the back. That I'm not sure what we're going to do with, because we can't lose this section here. That there is probably the best section of this stone that's currently exposed. Beautiful multicolour with the red on this side, bit of green on that side, but the red's coming through. It's a beautiful piece. You can see here there's a really deep green colour bar. I actually think I might just expose that because it's a thick part of the stone. And I think it's worth at least checking out just a tad. But yeah, mainly it's that centre section there where you can see that dark potch and sand. We're going to get rid of that. Up over here where the stone's been unfortunately chewed out at, we're going to try to even that out and kind of balance it. Make it nice and smooth. We don't like this jagged, ugly mess with the bits of sand scattered within it. We're going to get rid of all of that and hope for the best. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited to work on it. And what we're going to do in this video, because this will be a multi-parter, is just start working on that sand and that central colour. I can't rush a stone like this. Not for poor Lou. He's sent it over here to not get absolutely abused. So we're going to do our best on this one. Take it nice and slow. And it'll probably take a few episodes to get through this, but I'm incredibly excited because if that comes through in the guts and I can just tidy this up and keep the little green there, it is going to look absolutely amazing. Hopefully. And then we'll give it a polish later on and ship it all the way back to the US. This thing definitely is going to have more mileage than I have in my entire life. Just going backward and forwards from Australia and the US. It's not a short trip, but hopefully it doesn't suffer too much jet lag. Let's get right into this. I'll give it a quick weigh to start off with. Alright, it's got a fair bit of weight on it, 17.5 carats. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how much we lose over the course of this cut and polish. Hopefully not too much. It really depends on how easily this sand comes out. Worst case scenario, if this section here is really sand shot, there's always the option to slice down the guts and maybe end up with a nice multicolored stone over here and then another one over here. Let's do it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so it's turned out to be quite a complex cut. This is it completely dry. I haven't done much on this side, as you can see from the footage, so we'll focus on this side mainly. Now I've got a few issues. Around here is the really colourful section, but if you look really carefully here, you can see that crack. It's kind of cracked off a tiny little chunk here, and that's because the sand gets really thin there. Well, the opal gets really thin up against the sand, and so it's got this little bit of a crack forming there. This chunk won't hold on much longer. I'm also worried about this one, but we saw this at the beginning. That's got a crack going through here, and there's sand here. We'll have a look at the sand using a torch technique in a minute. A lot of these other sand spots, these are kind of working out quite well, but I can't do that with the coarsest grit sintered diamond. I'm going to drop all the way back to the 600 US grit sintered diamond Burr, just because you're going to take off a lot of material way too quickly. So at this point, now that the major bits of sand in the face are gone, and the potch in this area is kind of gone as well, except for that really dark patch, we don't want to be carving too quickly, otherwise we're going to get rid of too much colour. And this does have some wonderful colour. I'll give it a wet in a minute. I've also got to just work out some of these and even up these sharp edges around the place. I just didn't want to do that with the coarsest diamond Burr. So we're going to drop all the way back to the highest grit just to even it out, just to smooth it out and dig out these last little bits of sand. There's not a lot of problems over here. The main problem is over here and over the back here with that chunk that's about to come off. I am really annoyed that the red color bar is always trying to dig deeper. There's also this blue section here which I haven't really touched, just back here. I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to wait till Lou sees this video and we'll go from there. I'll give Lou a bit of a... Well, he can really watch this and get all the details that he needs out of it, and then I'll wait for him to contact me and we'll make some decisions. This sand here is also a little bit annoying. It seems to dive in a little bit further than I'd want. Back over to here, but I'll show you how to have a look at that in a second. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You've got this nice green on the top and all this chipping in the front, which was there from the beginning, and you've got this red bar that runs underneath. Underneath sucks. And it's because of those chips and stuff that are in the face here that I'm trying to get rid of. I can't really go from this side because all of a sudden we're gonna be through to this side here and you'll end up with a hole. There could be some slicing options here. I don't know. I'll have to think about that, but I'm pretty sure Lou wanted this as one intact piece that's just nice and undulating and showing off all its colour. There's this dark potchy bit over here which I find a little bit ugly. And there's some deep sand spots, just these two here mainly. This one's actually at the end of it, so that I'm going to clean out with the higher grit. This one just keeps going, and I am a little bit worried that there might be some hidden sand under this section here from this corner. But I'll just turn off the lights and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, now here we are. We've got the lights off and this is the face shining through here. And all I've got is a small torch, little LED torch, sitting behind the stone. All the other lights in the room are off. And you can see here where those bits of sand are just kind of creeping in. This I don't think is actually sand. I think that is just the really thick part of the opal. But over here, this is where that sand is under that edge. And it looks like it goes in quite a distance, which is very unfortunate. This is under that really colourful section. So there is a little bit of sand all the way under there, and it gets fairly thick and dark here, that sand. And the opal gets quite thin, and that's where that little crack is there. You can see the crack turns up pretty well with the lighting as well. So a little bit of sand over here. This other edge is where the other bit of sand is, and it doesn't actually seem too bad. I am a bit worried with these sections here. If that's sand, then some of these holes that are filled with sand could be much deeper, especially here where there's another one. If that hole meets that sand behind it, that's when we're in pretty big trouble, and I'd probably be suggesting a slice up through here. But we don't really want to slice if we don't have to. This is just the backside, so here I'm pretty confident a lot of that is just the thick potch. That there is definitely sand. That's that corner with all that sand and the chip coming off the back. That, I think, is just really dark potch. But there is a little bit of sand kind of creeping in there as well. So I'll turn the lights back on and I'll give it a wet and we can have a look at the colour at this stage. And we're back again. I've given it a bit of a wet and you can see it is still really beautiful in that section, and even the central section here, it started coming through with that beautiful red. That red bar was just under that potch, which is really nice. I'm glad there was something under there other than sand. And yeah, you can see the dark potch there, that's where that sand is, and that's where that biggest clump of sand is on the back there, which unfortunately is right under the best bit. There could be a chance of slicing along here and getting a really thin stone, because look how thin it gets there. That's in that section that I haven't even touched yet, just because there's no way I'm touching that with a sintered diamond. That's not getting touched until the 600 Nova, just that section, because it's already been rubbed down to there. But the rest of it still needs a bit of work to smoothen it out. But I do need to talk to Lou from Bay State Opals and just get his take on it, what he's kind of willing to risk on this one. Because yeah, I just don't know about that sand, how far in it goes. Whether I can get this facing on the other side. I think I could, because that's quite thick there. That's very thick compared to the rest of the stone. It is unfortunately a really thin piece, and the red just keeps diving to the bottom or diving into the sand. Even that little part that links the top and bottom color bars is also red, but it's just buried in that sand. Oh, we hate sand in this game. Oh, and for anyone interested, literally nothing fancy, just a LED little torch. Used to take it camping. Any light source will work. I've even met a guy that uses a candle behind his opal, which I thought was weird, and he just likes the flicker for some reason. But, you know, each to their own. Beautiful colour here. I'm going to pause it at this point, and we'll come back and revisit this for sure. I've got some sintered diamond stuff to do just over here with the 600 grit. This is not going to get touched apart from with the Nova Burrs. Even then, I'm not even going to hit it with the 280. That's going straight 600, 1200, 3000. And this section here still needs a little bit of work with the higher grit sintered diamond just to even it out. You can see it there. I want those undulations to be a little bit more smooth, and I want to target that sand spot a bit more. That one there just needs to go. These edges need to go. And then, yeah, Nova points. It should be pretty good. I still don't know what I'll do with this little section here. I reckon we have to give that a slight touch up. But I'll ask Lou, and that might happen in the next video. Hopefully, no slicing. Unless he really wants me to go slicing, I would rather keep it as intact like this as possible. It's probably not going to be the best piece to make a jewelry piece out of, but it could be a really nice looking stone just sitting in its box, in a little display box. So yeah, it's been fun so far, and I'm sure there's going to be more challenges to come before we're in the clear, but I look forward to it, and I'll see you when we're up to that stage. Catch you guys.